Hi friends, it's Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a reading vlog and it's going to be a cozy spring days reading vlog. It's already May and I feel like I haven't really had a chance to appreciate spring, which is a shame because after fall, spring is my second favorite season. And so I'm filming this video as a way to ensure that I appreciate spring because before I know it, summer is going to be here and I'm going to be complaining about how too hot it is. So in today's video, I am going to be reading books with springtime vibes and maybe also do some cozy hobbies with a spring-inspired twist to them. Maybe do some baking, some puzzling, take a walk outside. I also want to do some redecorating in my apartment as well, just to refresh it a little bit. So that's the plan. So the first book I'm going to start with is Must Love Lavender and Little Lies by Maisie McGill. So this is a cozy fantasy and it's part of the Moonshine Hollow series, but each book is an interconnected standalone, so you can read them in pretty much any order that you want. So there's a prequel book called Must Love Moss and Moonshine. I read that one, loved it, gave it 5 stars. And then the next book after that is Must Love Scones and Secrets, and that one I haven't read yet. And then the book after that is Must Love Libraries and Libations. That one I did read and I really enjoyed that one. I gave it 4 stars. And then this one we're reading today, Must Love Lavender and Little Lies, is the newest one that just came out last month in April. And to give you an idea what this one's about, I'm just going to read the description to you. She's his bestie, he's her rock, and now they're accidentally engaged. Juniper runs the village apothecary and Granite grows lavender on his farm. These two plant lovers have always had each other's backs. When Orcish custom demands Granite get married, Juniper does the only logical thing to save her best friend. She proposes a fake engagement. Brilliant plan, right? The only trouble is that in Orcish customs, engagements are binding and there's no such thing as fake. Now they have to find their way out of a major mess. That proves harder than anticipated when Granite's family comes to celebrate the Spring Greening Festival. Juniper and Granite must convince everyone they're madly in love, but the longer they pretend to be a couple, the harder it becomes to remember why they were faking it in the first place. So this one sounds like it's just going to be adorable and a lot of fun. And Juniper and Granite were actually in the last one that I read, Must Love Libraries and Libations, and I already really like their characters from that book, and so I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. So it's now Thursday, May 14th. So it's been about 5 days since we last chatted. And I do have a reading update for you, but I also have a little spring things haul that I want to share with you as well. So we're going to start with the haul first and then we'll talk about the book. First thing I have acquired is I got a couple new spring themed mugs. So the first one is this one. And I've just been really wanting some really cute spring mugs because I kind of just been using my winter mug and then my pink llama mug, which I love, but I wanted some springy mugs. And then I also got this one. Just think this one's so adorable, and book design on here that says book lover is just perfect. And it also came with a bookmark as well. Those are 2 mugs. And I also picked up a new puzzle. And I just thought this was the perfect spring puzzle, and so I do plan to start this in this vlog, so I'm really excited for that. And then I also got some stuff to do over my bathroom decor for spring and summer. So I got a new shower curtain. And so you can't see it really well right now because it's all folded up, but I will show it once I have it hung up. But there is a cat on here and then it's flowers. And then to go along with that, I got a new bathroom rug as well, which again, it's grass and flowers, which I'll show it again once it's out of here and actually in my bathroom. One other thing I got for the bathroom is these floral hand towels that I think are perfect for spring and summer. The one other home decor item I got was these floral placemats. And I just think these are super cute, and I love like the bright springy colors. And then the last thing I have to share with you is more of a bookish item. So I picked up this book themed coloring book, and what really drew me to it is there's also stickers, and I just love these. I thought these are so cute and they would be perfect for like a journal spread. And then the art in here is also gorgeous. Here's one example. And then this one's one of my favorite ones. I just think it's so pretty. So that's my little springtime haul. So now let's talk about books. So I finished Must Love Lavender and Little Lies this morning, and I loved it. I'm giving it 5 stars. Previous to this, my favorite one in the series had been the prequel, Must Love Moss and Moonshine, and I loved this one just as much as that one, and maybe even a little bit more. It was just such a sweet, cozy, whimsical story with spring and cottagecore vibes, and it just really made my heart happy reading it. I loved our main character in this, Juniper and Granick. And I love their relationship, and I also love them as characters. And this book falls into the friends to lovers tropes. So at the beginning of the book, our couple are the best of friends, and their dynamic is just so wholesome. And then some things happen that lead to them becoming faked engaged. Through this situation, they come to realize that they actually do have romantic feelings for each other. And so the story follows them coming to that realization. While they themselves take a while to realize that they are in love with each other, the townspeople and their friends realize way before they do that they are perfect for each other, and so they're kind of just like, they just need to get together already. That's another thing that made this book just so wholesome to read, was the side characters and just the cozy, warm-hearted vibes of the town. And some of the endearing side characters you meet are Granick's family and Juniper's close-knit group of friends. And their romance does have a little bit of spice, but not a lot. And overall, I just found it really cute and sweet. And of course, in addition to people characters, there are also many adorable and endearing animal characters in here as well. For example, there are shrieking goats that are named such because when they shriek, they cause you to tell the truth. And then there are also mini Highland cows that are the size of dogs. Every book in the series so far has just had so many cute and adorable animal creatures. I always look forward to seeing what kind of magical creature that this author comes up with next, because this author really has a talent for creating whimsical magical creatures. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I can't wait until the next book is announced and to see who the couple is going to be in that one, because there was a couple who was teased at the end of this book, so I'm interested to see if they end up being the couple for the next book. So next, I actually have 2 reading plans. So I'm going to start an audiobook, and I'm also going to start a physical book. So for the audiobook, I am going to pick up A Pack for Spring by Amelia Emerson. This is book 3 in the Cozyverse series, and these books are Omegaverse Why Choose Small Town romance books. So far, the first 2 books in the series are just such cozy comfort reads for me, and so I expect this one to also be like that. That being said, they are pretty spicy, but even though they're really spicy, I still find them really cozy. And each book in this story follows a certain female character and her male love interest, and all of them also take place during a certain season. So the first one was A Pack for Autumn, and then we had A Pack for Winter, and now we have A Pack for Spring. In this one, we're going to be following Lucy, who is a seamstress and who we are introduced to in previous books. According to the description, her love interests are going to be Wilder, the reserved fire chief, a grumpy businessman named King, and Leo, who is a cute florist next door. And so I'm really excited to read this one. And for my physical read, I'm going to be starting another book on my Kindle, and that is The Princess and the Blade by I, Tommy Love. This one is a slow burn, cozy YA fantasy romance. The cover of this one is just screaming spring vibes, And so in this one, we are following a princess named Charlotte, who has been ruling her kingdom for the last 5 years because her parents are missing, while also hiding her unstable magic. She ends up getting a new knight, and he is very mysterious. He doesn't smile, and he's very quiet. And so she is just very intrigued by her new knight and wants to learn more about him. And so this one just sounds like it's going to be so cozy and cute. And the description of it does say that it has illustrations in it, although it says that the paperback edition has more illustration than the ebook, but I'm going to read it on my Kindle first since I can get it on Kindle Unlimited, and then if I end up loving it, then I'll buy a paperback edition of it. Also, the author of this book does have a YouTube channel. I'll link that down below, and they have a trailer for the book on their channel, and the trailer is just so adorable, so I definitely recommend checking that out if you are interested in this book. And this is the first book in a trilogy. Hi, so it's been about a week since we last spoke, so I do have some reading updates. The first is The Princess and the Blade, which I ended up buying the physical copy of this. This just came in the mail today. And while I was reading the Kindle one, I felt like I was missing out because, as I mentioned earlier, this book does have illustrations in it, but you only get some of those in the Kindle, whereas in the physical copy, you get all of those, and I just felt while I was reading it on the Kindle that I wasn't having the full experience like the book should be experienced because I didn't have all the illustrations. And so I ended up buying this, and I'm really happy that I did because right from the beginning, you get so many like little illustrations that aren't in the Kindle version. So like here's the table of contents. It has these little flower drawings on the edges, which I think are so whimsical. And you also get an illustration of all the different characters that you end up meeting in the book. And there's also a little map. Then the chapters also have like little illustrations too right before them. And then this illustration was in the Kindle copy. In the Kindle one, you get the full spread illustrations, but what you don't get are these little illustrations that are on many of the pages in the book. And I just think the illustrations are so pretty and whimsical. And so I would say if you have the option, if you are able to read this in the physical paperback form, then I would highly recommend it. So right now I'm more than halfway through. I have made it to chapter 24, page 251. And so far this book has just been giving all the whimsy, warm-hearted, cozy fairy tale-like vibes. And you feel those vibes right from the beginning of the prologue, even though the prologue doesn't start off on the happiest note. So we are introduced in the prologue to our main male character, Hoche, and he's actually on the verge of death in the prologue, so that's not cozy, but what makes it cozy is that this stranger ends up coming along and saving him, even though he doesn't know him at all. And so I feel like that really sets like the warm-hearted tone of the book. And this book is a very character-focused and very character-driven. And so we spent a lot of time getting to know our two main characters. So first, Hoche, who is a young man who's very mysterious and seems emotionless. And he'll pretty much do what anyone tells him, what anyone commands him to do. And so in a lot of ways, he just seems like a puppet. And so throughout this book, we've been learning more about him and like why he is this way, what made him this way. And we're slowly getting to see him gain emotion through his interactions with our other main character, Princess Charlotte. And so she is the total opposite of Hoche. She's very warm-hearted and sunshiny. And so he does end up becoming her guard. And even though on the surface she seems very upbeat and warm-hearted, she also has her own internal struggles that are going on. And a lot of that revolves around her parents who went missing 5 years ago, and no one knows what happened to them. And so in their stead, she's been ruling her kingdom. And so she's been doing the best she can, but she's been struggling with not being enough and just missing her parents. And her inner turmoil has also been affecting her magic. So the royal family of her kingdom, they have plant magic, and so they use that plant magic to protect and help their kingdom prosper. But because of her being in emotional turmoil, her magic has been unstable, and so she hasn't really been able to control it lately. And so now she kind of fears it, and so she has that she's working on. And so those are the two main characters that we're following, but there's also other side characters that live in the kingdom that we also get to know as well. And in general, so far, that's what the main focus of the story has been, like focused on getting to know the characters and the kingdom and the other people that live in the kingdom. And so in terms of plot, the plot has been very much a slow burn so far. So not very much has happened in the plot so far. But I have very much been enjoying how slow burn this is because I'm very much more a character-driven reader than a plot-driven reader. And so I've just been enjoying getting to know Charlotte and Hoche and seeing the interactions between the two of them and also their interactions with the other people of the kingdom as well. And I also want to mention that this is a YA fantasy, but it's definitely reading a little bit on the younger side of YA fantasy. And it actually is reminding me of Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell. So if you read that one and enjoyed that one, you'll probably enjoy this. And also if you enjoy cozy anime, you probably enjoyed this as well because it's definitely giving me anime vibes. And so I'm really excited to read more of this and just to see like more of the beautiful illustrations that are in here and also to see what happens next in the story and to see the relationship develop between our two main characters. So in addition to making progress in this, I've also made progress in my audiobook. So I've made it more than halfway through A Pack for Spring. I have about 4 hours left on the 15-hour audiobook. I've just been having a really good time with this one. I've been enjoying it just as much as the other two books in the series. I will say I was a little worried at the beginning of it because it starts off on a little bit of a sad note, whereas the other two in the series did not. And that's because our main character, Lucy, is kind of having a quarter-life crisis. And then the first love interest we are introduced to is also kind of having a life crisis as well. But then we are introduced to the second love interest, Wilder, and that's when this book like clicked for me because he is my favorite love interest. I love his character so much. So he is our fireman love interest. He ends up rescuing Lucy when she's on a hike and gets stuck in a storm. And Wilder, he's gruff, he's kind of grumpy, but when he's around Lucy, his soft side comes out and he's just so adorable when he's around her. And then I'm also liking the other two love interests as well. So we have Leo, our florist, who is more upbeat and more on the sunshiny side. And then we have King, who's also can be a little grumpy sometimes. And he's a successful business owner, and so he's kind of like the millionaire in this story. Also, this is the first book in the series where none of the guys knew each other beforehand, so it's been very interesting seeing them interact and getting to know each other as well. And then also, I must mention that there has been a baby bunny in this book as well, and that baby bunny has just been absolutely adorable. So I only have 4 hours left in this, and I had originally been planning to start my flower shop puzzle while listening to this, and I haven't done that yet. So I am gonna probably do that next because I finally have some time and some energy to do that today. So yeah, my next update will probably be my final thoughts when I finish both of these. So I finished both the books I was reading, so I'm here to give my final thoughts on those and to wrap up this vlog. So first, The Princess and the Blade. I ended up really enjoying this. It was super cute, super cozy. I really enjoyed our two main characters, Charlotte and Hoche. And in the last bit of this book, the relationship was progressed a little bit. They are very much opposite characters. He's like the moon and she's like the sun. Their relationship overall was just super cute and sweet. The last bit of this book does progress the relationship a little bit. So in the last bit of the book, you see them thinking about each other more and realizing that they have feelings for each other. And in Hoche's case, this is really sweet because of Charlotte, he is starting to feel emotions for like the first time in forever. And so that's just really cute to see. And in particular, there are just some really cute and sweet scenes with the two of them in the last bit of this book. And then in terms of plot, there is the whole mystery of Charlotte's parents going missing and her now having to take over ruling her kingdom, and then also like the mystery of exactly where Hochi came from, who was his master before he ended up in Charlotte's kingdom. But that being said, the plot is a very slow burn, and this first book, as I said, is very character-centric, and so it focuses mainly on us getting to know our two main characters and really like looking deeply and closely at them. And also us getting to know the world that they live in, Charlotte's kingdom, and the other people that are in her kingdom. And so in that way, this really feels like a setup book. And in particular, the last two chapters of this book were super intriguing because they give us some information and tease about some things to come. And those last two chapters just really added to like the intrigue of the plot. And now I need more. I need to know what's going to happen next. And then my absolute favorite thing about this book was the illustrations. They were just so beautiful, and there's so many of them. And they just add to the whole whimsy and fairy tale-like feeling of the book. And so if you can, I would definitely recommend reading this physically, because while the Kindle version does have some illustrations, it does not have nearly as many illustrations as this book does. I really feel like all the illustrations are what makes this book as charming and whimsical as it is, and I feel like they're really the heart of this book. Oh, I forgot to mention this in my first update, but this book does take place during the spring, so it has spring vibes. So in addition to the cover looking very springy, it does actually take place in spring. So I'm giving this 4 stars, and I definitely recommend it if you like slow burn, character focus, YA fantasy books with elemental magic. So I also finished A Pack for Spring on audiobook, and it was just as cozy and comforting as the other 2 books in the series, and also really spicy like the other 2 as well. And actually, like, personally to me, this one felt a little bit spicier than the rest. And I'm not sure if that's maybe because of the distribution of the spicy scenes in this one. So there wasn't much spice in the beginning, but then there was a little bit in the middle, but there was a lot at the end. And by the end of the book, I was kind of like, it was almost like, personally for me, a little bit too much spice. But regardless of that, I still very much enjoyed this one. I loved our main character, Lucy, and the 3 guys that court her. I also enjoyed getting to see more of Felix the cat and the mischief that he got up to. Like the other 2, I also really enjoyed the bond and the friendship that Lucy and her friends have, and just like how supportive they all are of each other. And also kind of adding to that, I just like also love the cozy vibes of this small town and all the people that live there as well. Wilder is still my favorite of the 3 guys, even though I think the romance drama between him and Lucy at the end was a little drawn out, but it's okay because it all ended well. And so those are my thoughts on those 2 books, and with that we have reached the end of the vlog. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of these, what you thought of them. Also let me know if you've recently read any other books with really good spring vibes. Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!